The intro to this video will be a little different, because Chalice Dungeons are a little different. Getting the Yharnam Pthumerian Queen trophy may seem simple, you just kill her like any other boss, right? Well, yes and no. You see here, getting to her is super convoluted, especially for those who don't really understand Chalice Dungeons. All dungeons have the same structure, so it'll help to understand that structure. All dungeons start at a lamp called the Chamber of the Seal, represented by this small box on the left. You can use any lamps to warp in and out of the dungeon. You do not need to recreate the dungeon to go back in. From the Chamber of the Heart will be a corridor leading to the Layer 1 lamp, which is in the second small box. This room leads directly to the main dungeon, represented by this larger box. In the first room of the main dungeon, you will see a locked gate with a blue glow. This leads down a corridor to the boss room. Within the main dungeon is a lever that unlocks that gate. After you pull the lever to unlock the gate, head down to the corridor to the double door at the end and enter the boss room, marked by the medium box on the right. Each layer ends in a boss fight with a lamp, known as the Layer Heart. Behind it is an elevator that goes down to the next layer. There will be another corridor leading to the Layer 2 lamp in the main dungeon. Most Chalice dungeons have 3 layers. Kill the final boss in the lowest layer to beat the Chalice dungeon. Now these corridors are important. A golden door can appear in the hallway before the Layer lamp, somewhere in the main dungeon, and in the hallway to the boss. These are side dungeons full of enemies and treasure. Materials to make higher depth dungeons can be found as treasure and drops from enemies, so these side routes are very important. A few other things for sake of completion. Every dungeon, even randomized ones, have a glyph code that players can use to recreate each other's dungeons. The Come Chalice code is probably the most notorious. Some dungeons will have bell maidens that constantly summon glowing red enemies. These guys have high aggro range, never stop chasing you, and always know your location. Killing the bell maidens should be top priority. With that all in mind, let's start the process of getting to Queen Yharnam. First, you need to obtain the Chalices. The Pthumeru Chalice is dropped by the Bloodstarved Beast in Old Yharnam. The Ailing Loran Chalice is dropped by the Amygdala in the Nightmare Frontier. And the Great Ihyll Chalice is dropped by Aseprite, Daughter of the Cosmos. You only need the first 2, but the third one's there in case you want to explore dungeons a bit more. You can also check out my bonus stuff video for more details on how to get them. Now we need to obtain some materials in the overworld. First you'll need the 2 ritual blood 1s in Old Yharnam. You'll need to make your way through past Durja and his minigun and get to the bottom of the chapel behind him. The ritual blood is on the altar in the large room. Now in the Nightmare Lecture Building, go down to the first floor. Head to the end, and before the door that leads to the Nightmare Frontier, turn right. There are 2 red jellies in the chest. There are 4 cold blood flower buds you will need to get in the Nightmare Frontier. For the first one, head across the bridge and turn right past the Silver Beast on all 4s. Hug the right wall and circle around to pick up your first one, next to the giant throwing rocks. Continue on this path, and by the second rock giant, turn left to go across the bridge. Once across the bridge, on the right, by all the shinies, is your next flower bud. The first time you come here, trusty patches may push you into the ravine. The last two are in the central poison pool past the bridge and the two hunters. They are atop the middle island by the back entrance. You need to be real careful of the boulders getting thrown around, because they do lots of damage, and on low vitality characters they will probably kill you. So this next one isn't completely necessary, but it will decrease the amount of items you need to get in the Chalice Dungeons themselves, so it can be useful. In Upper Cathedral Ward, go left of the lamp and up the stairs into the building. Right, left down the corridor, and right into the main atrium. Go past the 3 werewolves and towards the big doors at the end, and there will be a corpse with 3 Ritual Blood 5s on it. Last material we need to get in the overworld is the living string, which is dropped by the Mensa Spring. First, you need to drop it from its perch. When Nurgo's aloft, take the broken elevator down and jump off halfway through. Run past the bridge full of lantern lanterns and past the room full of spiders, and pull the lever at the end. After you've done that, you'll need to go to the entrance of the large building right before the Mikkelash boss fight. Make your way down to the stairs and past the first butcher lady, and you'll need to get on the first elevator you see. This will take you to a dark room with the Mensis brain. Kill him for the living string. If you perform the True Make Contact gesture in front of him, he will also reward you with the maximum moon rune for more blood echoes. In the Hunter's Dream, there are 6 altars around the outside of the workshop. Place a Pthumeru Chalice down one of them to bring up a 3-panel screen. On the left panel, you'll see Depth, which is the difficulty rating from 1 to 5, easiest to hardest, and Area, which tells you what kind of dungeon and enemies you can expect to find. Sometimes the left screen will also show you additional materials you can use to modify the dungeon, but this is not necessary to know in order to get the Queen Yharnam trophy. The central panel shows you the required materials to make the dungeon. In this case, we need 2 Ritual Blood 1s and 1,000 Blood Echoes. The right panel shows you additional modifiers you might be able to add to make it harder, but give you better rewards. Again, this is not necessary, so you can ignore this. Now you may come across some root chalices as you dive into the Chalice Dungeons. These create randomized dungeons that can be modified to make them harder. These are not necessary to get the Queen Yharnam trophy, and for that you can ignore them. You only need to focus on the story chalices, which create standardized dungeons. We need to do this Pthumeru Chalice dungeon to pick up some materials. In the 3 layers of this dungeon, you'll need to pick up 6 Ritual Blood 2s, and there are 10 total on the ground. After that, you'll need to kill the Layer 3 boss to get the central Pthumeru Chalice. Return to the Hunter's Dream and use the central Pthumeru Chalice to create a new Chalice dungeon with the 6 Ritual Blood 2s that you picked up in the previous one. You will need to pick up 9 Ritual Blood 3s from this Chalice dungeon and kill the Layer 3 boss to unlock the lower Pthumeru Chalice. With the lower Pthumeru Chalice and the 9 Ritual Blood 3s that you picked up, create another Chalice dungeon. This one is unique in that it has 4 layers instead of the usual 3. While in the lower Pthumeru Chalice dungeon, you will want to pick up the Haze Extractor, as it will be really useful for later on. There is a golden door in the hallway that leads to the boss room on layer 2. Go straight through, left through the cave, then once you come to the large room with the rats, go to the back left exit, go straight through all the oil jars, and at the very end, guarded by a merciless executioner, is a golden chest with the extractor inside. It allows you to turn Chalice materials into Arcane Haze, and you'll need 47 in order to get the trophy. You can farm this material from fluorescent flowers in the Chalice Dungeons instead, but I think this is quicker. As well as the Haze Extractor, you'll also need to get 9 Ritual Blood 4s for the next dungeon. I only counted 7 treasure, so you'll need to farm 2 more from larger enemies in the dungeon. Shouldn't take too long. After that, kill the Layer 4 boss for the Defiled Chalice. Alright, time for a detour. Using the 9 Ritual Blood 4s and the 4 Cold Blood Flower Buds, language is hard, that you got from Nightmare Frontier, make a Chalice Dungeon using the Ailing Loran Chalice. You'll need to pick up the following materials: 9 Ritual Blood 4s, 5 Ritual Blood 5s, 2 Bastards of Loran, and 4 Blooming Cold Blood Flowers. Remember how I said that those golden doors leading down the side dungeons would be very important? This would be useful to know. You will also need to kill the Layer 3 boss for the Loran Chalice. At the 5th altar in the Hunter's Dream, use the Defiled Chalice with 9 Ritual Blood 4s, 2 Bastards of Loran, and 22 Arcane Haze to make another dungeon. This Chalice dungeon gives you a taste of a cursed dungeon, permanently cutting your HP in half. Also make sure to pick up 10 Ritual Blood 5s. You will need 18 in total, and if you picked up a 3 in Upper Cathedral Ward, and the 5 in Ailing Loran, you'll have all that you need. Kill the Layer 3 boss for the Great Ihyll Pthumeru Chalice. Well, Queen Yharnam is the final boss of the Great Ihyll Chalice, but if you've been paying attention, you'll notice that you need 4 red jellies, and you only have 2. At the 6th altar, make a dungeon with the Lower Loran Chalice, 9 Ritual Blood 5s, and 4 Blooming Cold Blood Flowers. Behind some of the golden doors, you will find your 2 red jellies. Now, with your stillborn children, you can move on to the Great Ihyll Chalice. You don't need to kill the Layer 3 boss. Now, remove one of the chalices from their altar and replace it with the Great Ihyll Pthumeru Chalice. Use 9 Ritual Blood 5s, 4 red jellies, 25 Arcane Haze, and a living string to make your final Chalice dungeon. There's nothing you need to pick up here. Proceed through normally and kill Queen Yharnam in the 3rd layer. This is your trophy. And if you follow my other videos, this is the platinum for the main game play. Hey, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. This is the part where I beg you to like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell, but whether you do that or not, I hope you have a good one.